I'm.
I don't know what to say.
She says, "Do you love me?" I say, "Only partly. I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry."
Shut up,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
welcome to the stream where Jeremy sings the song.
Yeah, actually, that is the start of the stream.
Okay, we're good.
Hello, everybody. My name
So
is
I wanted to bring
Curdyver.
up haters. Like, okay, so obviously there's gonna at some point be like people who dislike the stream, but at what point is it just like instantly a hater? Because like I've had this thought before, like when people just like go somewhere to shit post on something, are they actually a fan when they're like following what they do all the time just to shit post, or are they just like kind of
Here's the
a
thing.
troll? I don't even.
Here's what I'm gonna say. All right. This is what I'm gonna say. All right. Um. I'm gonna bring this up because we talk about him a lot on the show. Logan Paul.
Okay.
He came out of it. He came out of it in basically probably the worst ways possible. Um. He came out of one of the worst nights ever, where people were dragging him through the dirt. All right. And
Yeah, still a lot of those videos were monetized though, so
yeah,
I
well, it's
mean,
not even about monetization at that point. It's literally he came out of it
oh
with
yeah.
more subs, more subscribers. The rate at which he was getting subs and subscribers were increased. You know, everything about it was increased and made more important.
Well, the
It's
people who did hate on it a lot were like adding more voice to the people who would like, I guess not, well, not like it, but identify with and be like, hey, I don't think he's that bad of a guy. Like
He's a
they
stupid
subscribe.
kid. Like even I can like had a little bit of like empathy for him. So like, oh, he's a stupid kid. You know, he's a stupid kid. His parents never hit him. You know, and because of that, he turned into the spoiled little brat. You know,
His parents never hit him. Is that
hit
what
That's
you
your
just said?
children.
that's what changes it.
Yeah, yeah. No, like he was a brat. You know, he was a brat growing up, and because of that, he basically he never got to experience true responsibility as an adult, and because of that, things never turned out. In my mind, like what makes like okay, you're not asking like what like actually institutes a hater, right? Like you're asking whether or not haters are like.
Right? Like if it's just dissing like what he's wearing, like, oh man, he's wearing that Gucci vest again, fucker.
I don't know why I'm saying like doing. I'm like doing like acting stuff with this and realizing nobody can see me. I don't know.
Oh.
What institutes a hater for me? Here's the thing. I don't care if somebody hates me or not. In all reality, if you're commenting on my stuff, if you're sharing it, like this guy's stupid, you're doing me a service. All right. Congratulations, you have now made my stuff more popular. Whether or not you like me or not, I don't care. It's like when it really depends on like what
It's
like
like,
what.
you know, when somebody's talking about a demon, it just kind of like brings the demon up more. No, I'm just joking. I was just trying to compare the similarities between some
It's why
like
you can't.
night and
It's
day.
why you can't like Harry Potter, no matter how much of a good, solid message it has. It has, magic event. It's of the devil. No. That was a conversation at work this week. But no.
Did you see the thing where I think like yeah, it was the creator of Harry Potter where she said like at no point was Hermione black, and then like somebody pointed out a part in the book where she specifically said her pale white face. Like I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that's an expression, but yeah, I don't know.
I think we took a turn there.
Yeah, I have no prejudice against anything. I thought that was kind of a critical point. You were talking about Harry Potter and how you can't like it for this reason. I was like more
Yeah.
thinking along the lines of like general inconsistencies along the plot.
I don't want to get into that. Um.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if you guys don't mind, I have a game. I actually like this game, and it's not sexual. Okay. So what it is.
Okay. I believe you for 0 seconds.
So what it is that it's the game is called Fake Product or Real Product. Okay. I am going to read you off a description, the name and a description of a product. All right. and you have to tell me on whether or not it's real or not. Okay, Rachel.
Okay.
Rachel knows this because I've gotten her one of these because there's a thing called Prank Pack. All right, we're not sponsored by Prank Pack, by the way, guys. Prank Pack is essentially these boxes that you can order online, and essentially what it does is it's these really funny boxes. They're empty boxes. You stick stuff in them. People open them like, oh my gosh, isn't this funny? This is never gonna work. This is stupid. Why would I ever buy this? And then like it's an actual present inside. Rachel knows this. I bought her one of these, but she got the Bath and Brew, all right, which is a shower coffee maker plus soap dispenser. Essentially, it it makes coffee as you're showering. It's essentially what it was supposed to be doing. Here's the thing.
Oh yeah, one of those boxes, and then inside, what was inside?
I think it was edibles. I gave you edibles in that box.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, I actually thought it was cool. Like, I was like,
Rachel wanted it.
I'll drink coffee while I take a shower.
So this is essentially what it is. Here's the fun thing about this, because I'm actually looking at their actual site. They actually have an endorsement from Donald Trump on it. Do you want to hear what the endorsement is?
Sure.
Very stupid and unoriginal.
I wonder how many people got mad about it.
All right.
Sorry.
So which one do you want to go first on this one?
Do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. What's up?
All right then. You ready for this? Now this is gonna either be a real product or a fake product. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna give you the name of the product, and you have to. So I'm gonna give you the name of the product, a description of it, and you have to tell me if it's a real thing. Okay.
Okay. I got you.
All right. The Pet Suite. Animal-powered debris removal system. They're dust boots for your dog, for like your animals.
Well, I know this exists, like it's a real thing for babies, so I'm gonna say that this one probably exists for pets too.
It does not. It's a prank pack.
Oh, it should probably exist because if people are willing to strap their babies up to that to sweep the fucking floor, I guess, then they should probably stick their pet on it too, I guess.
I guess.
Here, yeah, I don't agree with it. I just remembered it. I remember seeing somebody posting it, and some other people were like, I'm mad about this.
Okay.
If it was real.
Yeah, if it was real too. Here's Rachel.
All right. Ready, Rachel?
Yep.
All right. So this one's called the Cush. It's a breast support device for sleeping on your side, so your breasts don't touch.
I'm gonna guess that's fake.
It's real. It is a real. Yeah, it is a real thing. They go all the way up to double D's. Essentially, it's this just like a cylinder, and you just stick it in between your boobs so you can sleep on your side and your boobs don't touch.
I guess I understand that for like bigger chested women. Like I don't have that problem because like I have a really small chest, but like.
All right then. So you ready for this one? All right, Jay, you ready for this one?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This one is called Talking TP. It's essentially a recordable device that it's basically a toilet paper holder, but it has like a thing on it so that you can record a message, and whenever it moves, it it'll make that sound, and so you can be like, oh my gosh, light a candle or something like that. Apparently this is like what this actually saying, like, well, light a candle and all this other stuff. It also says it's great for weddings, Christmas, birthdays, showers, office parties, and stocking stuffers.
I feel like it almost sounds real, right? Because the way how it's so like explained out, but
Yeah.
I feel like anything that's electronical is not really
It's real.
used in the bathroom. No, I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's not. I don't believe it. Just please make it unreal. Just undo it.
It's real. It's a talking toilet paper holder.
Just
Why?
Yeah, no, we said that in unison. Why?
It's real. All right. All right. Ready for this one, Rachel?
Yeah.
All right. A beer beard. Secret beverage dispenser. It's a 72-ounce holder that basically is held like around your neck, and then you have a fake beard, and it has like a straw that goes into your mouth.
So I know for a fact that they make stuff like that for wine, so I could totally see them making one for beer. So I'm gonna say real.
This one is on Prank Pack. It is not a real thing.
Okay, but like, did you know that they make jewelry for wine?
I know. Okay, I know they have beer guts for this, but this is specifically like a beer beard, and it's like not.
No, I'm not saying that that's real. I'm just saying like they make things for wine.
I know, it's crazy. All right,
You don't need to bring wine into work. If you need to bring wine into work, you're an alcoholic.
Well, I'm sorry, you just are so judgmental.
Oh no, you should not be drinking at work. I am sorry if that sounds judgmental. You should not be drinking alcohol at work.
I was making a joke.
That is like a made rule.
Yeah, that's not judgmental.
Mm.
You
Well,
should not be drinking at work.
Excuse me while I have another cup of Merlot.
Fun fact: at one of the jobs that I worked at when I did work, down in the Spokane area, the manager came in drunk like 5 or 6 times and was just doing his job, managing everybody, doing all the things on the computer work, but just kind of a little drunk. And I'm not sure really anybody else noticed other than me, and I kind of wanted to call it out, but at the same time, I didn't want to be
what if
that guy.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. All right.
It was just a little unprofessional because he was supposed to be the manager, supposed to be like doing all the. I don't know how else to say it.
Like he should
doing
be
the manager thing. Probably shouldn't be getting all drunk. Work.
Drank. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I think this is actually
Nothing is making me laugh.
Okay, Rachel, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Bear lifts, the instant breast lift. It looks like what it is they're it's like pieces of tape that you stick like right on like above your nipple.
Wait, is it called braless or
no? Bear lifts, the instant breast lift. Apparently, it stops sagging boobs.
Okay, bear lifts. Oh, okay, I get it. Sorry, I thought. Yeah, I think probably fake.
Nope, real.
God damn it! I'm not good at these boob ones.
Neither of you guys are. Okay, are you ready for this one?
What?
Okay. Okay, Rachel, you'll get another one. It's a potty putter.
Okay, I know this one's real because I've heard of it.
Yes, it is.
I knew that one because I've seen ads for it.
Yeah. All right, Jay, you want to do another one?
Yeah.
All right. The toe tunes. They're slippers with speakers in them. Apparently they work through Bluetooth, and essentially they like link to your thing, and like you can play like sounds out of them. It even comes with like a connector, so you can like stick them on.
Have they ever stepped in blue water though? Like, have you ever had slippers and you accidentally step into a puddle and it's like, oh no, now my slippers are frickin' ruined?
I mean,
I have to say false, like not true, because just because speakers and shoes. I mean,
I'm surprised. I tried to sell that, and I'm surprised you got it. Wow.
Okay.
No,
First one we got right. Wait. Did Rachel? Did you get any? First one I got right.
Yeah, I got one right. I got the potty putter right.
Oh yeah.
That one was awesome.
Okay, your turn.
I didn't get the boobs ones right.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like I was like, these sound too ridiculous. Like nobody needs that, and like
All right.
apparently they were real.
Yep, apparently real. Alright, you ready for this one, Rachel?
Yeah.
Alright then. They're called earrings. They are it's an earring set. There's 365 of them, and each one of them has a different day of the year. So you have a different earring pair for every day of the year.
That sounds. I don't know. It sounds unnecessary. But like, it sounds like somebody would invent it. So I really don't know. What do you think? Earrings. And different earring for every day of the year. Would somebody actually invent that?
I think that's too many earrings to keep track
Yeah,
of.
that's 365. No, that's
That's
like
600.
706. No. 730,
730, yeah.
730 earrings to keep track of? Yeah, I'm gonna say that's fake.
You are correct. It is a fake one.
I was just thinking that sounds like something that somebody out there would be like, oh, this is a good idea. But like, would it actually ever get off the ground?
I don't know. I feel like to a certain extent it would work to a certain extent, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, I feel like somebody would buy it because they don't actually have a life. But yeah. All right, one more. All right.
They don't have a life?
Yeah, like, okay, if you're a housewife, you sit there, you drink wine all day, you watch Oprah. You know, I'm probably greatly insulting a huge number of people. No, what I mean, like, is like, to a certain extent, like, if you have to care so much about how you look, there's a part of you that wants, like, that little bit of variety, and somebody out there, there's a niche out there of people who would want to buy earrings, a different earring every single day. Honey, I'm wearing my March 1st earrings today.
What's March 1st, honey? Gets
March
pissed
1st.
off because it's it's their anniversary.
It's our anniversary! Alright, that got violent. Alright, one last one. The Better Marriage Blanket. It's a blanket that eliminates flatulence odor.
That sounds fucking weird. I'm gonna say fake.
It's a real thing. It's only
What are
29.
these inventions?
Well, alright, here's one more. The Wiener Cleaner Soap.
What cleaner?
The Wiener Cleaner Soap. It's just a round thing of soap that you're supposed to put your dick in.
Is that real, Jay? You don't need a ring.
Why would anyone?
One size fits most men. Personal hygiene has never
I
been
think it's
estimated.
fake.
It could be like a joke.
Yeah, it could be a gay gift. It's either fake or a gay gift.
It's real. It is 100.
Not as a gay gift?
Not as a gag gift.
It
It's
seems
real.
It seems like one of those things you'd find in Spencer's on the wall, where it's like a picture of a joke person, like, haha, look at what you could do with this.
It's 100% real. It says good, clean fun for couples. It doesn't have a caution. If Wiener Cleaner ever becomes stuck, soak area with cold water. Additional cleansing may be desired, but it's not necessary. Just a few quick strokes of the Wiener Cleaner will clean and sanitize most appendages. Solves the age-old bathing dilemma and adds a whole, H-O-L-E, whole, new dimension of pleasure and fun around your shower or bath.
You want a wiener cleaner?
Large or smaller, in-betweener, nothing beats a Wiener Cleaner.
Damn it.
I didn't mean for that. Okay. And we're getting off
You've heard
that.
of the squatty potty, right? Because the first time I heard of it, I thought it was fake.
Oh, wait, what's a squatty potty?
It's where, like, you have a stool that fits on your toilet, and it's like you pull it out so you can take a shit from the right angle.
Okay then. Let's move on.
It was on Shark Tank.
Okay. I'm guessing I'm just gonna just walk away from that and look up something else. Like, yeah.
It's because they say when you're in a squat, it's more natural. Like, you don't get a kink. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
I'm not making this up.
Okay. Okay. I'm guessing. I'm definitely guessing that you're not making this up. But as it stands, I feel like we should probably get to looking talking about something else completely. So it's been like what, 2 weeks since we've done another stream.
Sorry.
Oh no. Remember we were in Montana last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been
now I'm here.
we're in podcasting. So we've been good at podcasting. I don't know. I feel like so. I want to talk about like something that really interested me, that came through the news lately, which is So there's this picture going around for a movie. I don't remember the movie. All I know is that Jennifer Lawrence is in it. So take that what it is. And people are basically saying that it's bad for her to have to wear this dress, which was a strapless dress, basically. All right, in the middle of fuck off cold London winters, and she is and so she's like sitting there. She's like, and apparently I can't remember how to describe the situation. So essentially, it's a picture, and like all the guys are in coats, but she's in this dress, and people are saying it's a bad thing, but she's saying it's a good thing because of she liked the dress. So my question is for you, TK. If you got paid to wear a dress, all right, and it was a very expensive, beautiful dress, all right, would you be mad if people were like, it's too cold for you to wear that dress?
No.
Hey, I was supposed to answer.
I was looking for a female perspective, but okay.
I don't think so. I think like people saying it's too cold to wear a dress like that does make sense. It would be really cold to wear a dress like that, but at the same time, I think it would be really fun to like have something where I was wearing a dress like that. Was it a like? So it was a movie. She was wearing a dress like that.
No, it was like in a it wasn't even like a movie. It was just like gosh, it was just like a freaking God, I can't remember what it was. It was like a show. It was like it's a movie that she was doing a shoot for, but like they
It was
posted
a photo shoot.
Yeah, no, it's like just a photo of her and the rest of the cast, and all the guys are in like heavy jackets, but she's wearing like a strapless dress that had like the world's deepest V-neck that like. You know,
it's a photo shoot. Like people wear dresses like that all the time in photo shoots. There's this page I follow because my friend has their photos done by them, and there's like girls wearing dresses all the time in the snow. All winter there's been girls wearing like strapless dresses and like shit like that. Like it looks really cool as a contrast against the snow. I don't know. I mean, as long as you're not out there very long, they probably took the picture and then was like, here's a coat.
Yeah,
like, she probably wasn't standing out there all that long in the.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, no, we went outside for like 15 minutes. But like people are freaking out about it because it's like none of the other guys had to wear something so like cold and everything and fucking cold in London and shit. Like, I don't know. My opinion of it is this way. Everything is based on an individual value. If somebody has an individual problem with something, that's their issue.
Well, I think it comes down to if Jennifer Lawrence had a problem with it, she would have been like, hey, I have a problem with it.
I think that's the biggest problem with people. Is like we don't have like a desire to we don't have the desire to just like make our own protections and everything. We don't teach people to stick up for themselves. Like and it's, the biggest problem is because like you can't teach that to a kid. Like, you can't teach a kid to stand up for themselves without, having little shits who are like, oh, I can stand up for myself. Why'd you hit that other kid? I'm standing up for myself. You have idiots who do that. But, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my thing. That's just how I think, that's just how I am. Alright?
Hmm.
That makes sense, kind of?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So, I don't know. Back to the idea of, like, haters and such. So I was talking to a friend earlier about how I was watching about how we watched Big Mouth over the weekend,
Oh yeah, that show was ridiculous.
and she doesn't like it. I was like, "Well, how can you not like it?" There was that part of me that's like, "Oh man, it was a funny show. I laughed."
Yeah.
And like there was just a small part of me, like I was talking to him, and so I've been rewatching it, of course, because Big Mouth is actually really funny, and I realized, oh, that's why. And if you actually go watch it back and watch it, it is not something that is by any stretch of the imagination politically correct. True.
No, it is not politically. It's just like
It's
it's just kind of ridiculous. It's an interesting take. It's an interesting take on puberty. Puberty. I can't talk.
puberty,
Puberty.
puberty.
Um, puberty. I can't talk. I haven't been able to talk all day.
You're fine.
I was talking to my mom about how she was like very well read and literate, and I said read well.
Nice.
That's not what I meant, but that's what I said. Or read good, like something really stupid like that.
Well, it's like conceptualization.
Yeah.
Like there's a concept behind that and everything.
Well, I was talking about philosophy with my mom.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm bred good.
No, I said, Mom, you're read well. And she's like, well read? And I'm like, yes. Well read.
That makes sense. Makes huge amounts of sense. Things like that happen.
And then I was like, and like before she said read well, I was like, literate. And then she's like, well read. And I'm like, yeah, but I said literate. And she's like, oh, literate's a good one. And I'm like, yeah, because you read books. I was just saying she reads books. And
yeah,
I don't know. I can't fucking talk right now.
We're about a half an hour in. We got a half an hour to go at least. No, for me, like I'm of the opinion that like if you spend enough time, like if you spend enough time playing like the I guess the best way to put it is like playing the victim kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or like I can't remember what I was gonna go with this. Like, okay, so if you spend enough time trying to convince yourself that you're one way, it's gonna come out, and it goes back to the idea where it's like people need to learn to stand up for themselves, but you can't teach that to a kid. That's 100% true. Like, if you try teaching a kid to defend themselves, to stand up for themselves, to be self-fulfilling. I'm sorry, kids are assholes. They're gonna become an asshole. That's just how that goes down. You cannot teach a child how to defend, how to protect, how to stand up for themselves without them becoming an asshole. It just doesn't happen.
I'm an asshole.
Yes, most people are assholes. I mean, you just have to look at like politics, and it just happens. Everybody's an asshole. With that being said, it doesn't stop You know, it doesn't mean, but that's the thing. You can't be like self-reliant. You know, you can't be that way. Going back to the idea of like somebody talking about like if something makes them uncomfortable or not. That's 100% true. Somebody can say that they're uncomfortable with something. Somebody can reply to something and just not.
Sorry, I'm playing a game while I'm talking to you.
No, you're fine.
I'm listening though.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Somebody can like have like somebody can say something, but they just can't stand up for their own opinion. Is basically what I'm saying. You know, that's the big thing. Like, you know, you can have an opinion and just not be able to stand up for yourself. Excuse me. That's my opinion. Is like, if we we can't teach somebody to have an opinion, because the moment you try to teach somebody to have an opinion, they're gonna turn into assholes. Because you can't teach somebody to have an opinion without biasing your own. Or if you do, it's just basically saying you're right. There's no one can tell you that you're wrong. And I'm sorry, that turns you into a little shithead.
Yeah.
Hello, Jay. How are you doing today? I love that Rachel's playing something on her phone. Because of that, it really messes with things.
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, just want to make sure because you guys were like fitting in and out.
Okay, I'm connecting to the Wi-Fi. I was.
Okay. So back to other news stories that are newsworthy. What do you guys? Okay, and this is gonna sound bad. The people who believe that the kids that were involved with the shooting are paid crisis actors.
So you think they're fake?
There are people who believe that they are fake. Yes.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
Hi, I think Discord is being
Finicky?
difficult right now.
I don't know. Anyway, so no, there are people who believe that the children who are that were part of the shooting were basically are now paid crisis actors. And
That's fun.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm by no means going to say that these kids are, because I don't know enough of the situation. I don't want to know enough of the situation, and at least in this matter, like as far as like a shooting goes, like yes, there needs to be discussion that way. But again, like you have these kids coming out, and like I don't know if I would be able to do it, but it's fucked up. It's a fucked up enough thing that like it could totally be true. It's like it's just messed up enough where you're like maybe, but again I don't care. There's okay they're crisis actors, but that doesn't mean anything. In my belief is like I don't
Yeah,
care.
it's really hard to be skeptical on stuff like that when it's like, okay, why would they? And when you think about the why, it's like,
who benefits?
do I really want to have to take this, like, with that perspective? I really just would like to think these people are actual people.
Exactly.
So I don't usually agree with those sorts of stances on things like that, where it's like,
again,
I just, you got to take them at face value at some point.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I'd rather us have a discussion on gun control. All right. Or rather like what caused the situation. All right. Which is just a huge lack of work on the, CIA's part. All right. Somebody was just messing around and then didn't do their job because they knew they knew that this guy was like there and a real thing, for so long. But like again, it comes down to we need to have this discussion. It doesn't matter who is facilitating where that discussion is coming from. I believe it should be revealed to a certain degree if they are, because then we can continue having this conversation, because it is one that needs to be had. If the CIA is not going to do their job, then we need to I don't know. Like, people are talking about how, again, I fall into the choice where, like, we need to have stricter gun laws to an extent. There shouldn't be a ban of a type of gun, but you should have to have specialized training to be able to buy certain guns. Like, the kind of thing like that, the kind of gun that guy had, there needs to be special training to have. If you're having a pistol or a single shot rifle, that's not something you need special training for, okay? But if you're talking about an AR-15 or something like that, yeah, you should probably be, military and, honorable discharge and all that to be able to have it. Because at that point in time, you've proven that you have had the necessary, training to be able to handle that firearm. But again, it came down to this huge thing where it's like, if you want to discuss this, it's probably the worst thing in the world to discuss, because you're literally sitting there and like, well, no, there are people who are like, they're crisis actors, and I wanted to talk about that because the other conversation is difficult to have. But again, in my mind, it's like, it doesn't matter if they're crisis actors, because if they're crisis actors, that just means that somebody had to pay them. And I want to know if they are, and I'm going to take it at face value if they say they aren't. The problem is that every single time they're interviewed about being crisis actors, they're like, oh man, I wish I could be an actor. And there's just some that, I don't know, there's just some part of me that's like, if these kids are, then they're doing a really bad job at it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because there's so many little things that you can look at when them doing this that you can say, okay, they're openly saying that they want to be crisis actors, or that they want to be actors. So it's like they're still leaving themselves open to being able to go into like actual acting at some point. Which, if you were a crisis actor, you would really want to do that. And then there's that stupid point where I'm like, wait a second. I don't know.
Yeah, but the kids may just want to be an actor too, so you don't.
Again, and that's another thing. Like, I'm not even like trying to say like there's a billion and one things. Like, one of the kids was in another news story about like similar to this one in California, and they're like, no, he goes visits friends on the week on like the summers, and it's like, okay, but I don't know. It's and then there's a whole thing of them like. They're like taking selfies and their Snapchats have taken off and everything like this, and they're like I'm gonna become famous, and I don't know. There's just a small part of me that
what?
Go ahead.
What, like, even if they're not crisis actors, what it does show is that like when you get out your Snapchat and record what's happening, that just seems a little crazy to like record a shooting on Snapchat.
I 100% agree. But like what I'm talking about is like afterwards they're like in Washington DC and they're like, oh my gosh, we went to Washington DC, hashtag follow me on this, and I'm like, but why?
They sound like
teens?
Generation Z kids.
I know, like I don't know.
It just seems like kids like that just are so obsessed with their image.
Again, I don't know if it's just them being, like, again, I hate anybody who's like, get rich or die vlogging. That's just my huge, very, very public opinion. I hate anybody who's very much like, get rich or die vlogging. I'm either going to become famous or I'm going to work the rest of my life doing something else. I'm like, have a backup plan. Like, just in general, have a backup plan. Because I just don't have, like, it's not that I don't have a drive for things, but it's like, there are people who will do shitty things to people for fame. And I don't know. Like, these kids, like, they remind me of that to a certain extent. Because essentially they're like, well, this terrible, horrible thing happened to me. Follow me on Twitter at, It's a stupid thing where it's like, you just sit there and like, I don't know. There's a part of me that, like, I don't like anybody who wants to sell their soul for fame. That's my big thing.
Yeah. No, I don't. That reminds me of like that movie that we watched where they literally like sold their soul for fame.
Oh my gosh.
Where there's multiple movies where they've done that. Like there's multiple things where like people have like sold their soul for like fame.
Yeah, and that's 100% true. Like, would you like? And that's the thing. Like, would you sell who you are to try to be famous? And I think that's the biggest trouble. It's like, and like going back to like another thing, another news story that I feel like really does go on is that Jacksepticeye went on the Late Show in like Ireland, and the entire time they're like asking him how much money you make, how much or this kind of thing, or like what's the magical way of becoming a YouTuber, and he's like, I don't know, and I'm not answering how much money I make. There's just no point to me answering those questions. And then like he's like they started like answering questions from fans, and like this one fan just asked him like, what do you want to put back in the world? And he answered it so beautifully, and the entire time he's talking directly to her, and I'm like, yeah, Jack, you go there. Like Jack's the other guy has the perfect example of like somebody who made it big and he didn't have the drive for it. Like he didn't have the I'm gonna become famous drive. He had the I want to make something because it's fun to make this stuff drive.
And who was that?
Jacksepticeye.
That's who I thought you were talking about. It's just you said Jack, and I was like, is there another Jack?
Yeah. Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack.
Yeah. But no,
well,
like
the only other Jack I can think of is there's a couple other Jacks on YouTube, but like
Jack from like Jack from Rooster Teeth.
Yes. Is there a Jack from Rooster Teeth?
Yes, there is. He has a nice beard, and he used to work at G4. But no, and again back to these kids, because this is obviously going to be coming back to them. Like I don't know how many of them, because I know this is going to make me sound like I'm freaking them out all to be sociopaths, but Gen Zers have this weird habit of looking at everything from the perspective of how does this benefit me, and millennials have the same. Oh, millennials have the same problem. The difference is that we got screwed by everybody. That's why we're like that. Like we're like, how can these people benefit me? But at the same time, we're like, but how can I benefit people? Like we brought out this thing where it's like, how can I make sure the world that the future people don't end up in the same shitty situation we did. While Gen Zer is like, how can this benefit me? How can I use this to get rich and famous? I don't know. I guess that just lumps a lot of Gen Zers in like a box. No,
I can see that. Like my little sister is a Gen Z, and like it just seems like everything is about her image.
And like we went through the same thing, but the problem is that like we didn't have we had the internet, but like we didn't have like the huge, like we had like just people who were just getting famous on YouTube and like trying to make a buck off of it, like trying to see like we grew up with like the OG YouTubers, like first gens who got big and then had no idea what to do afterwards. Like the Maihi guy and got all that other things, or the Leave Britney Alone guy. These were people who they made something on the internet, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, I made something, now what? Because there was no complicated idea of like, how can I make money off this? Nowadays it's like, oh, if I get big on YouTube, I can just like get big on YouTube and make money doing that. And it's
but like I don't know, it's like it's not that easy to make it big on. You have to like get a following.
Yeah, getting a following is not like the most. Like, it's the most difficult part about it is like doing that and then like trying to. But, like it's not hard to get a following. Like anybody can do it. The problem is getting somebody doing it while being yourself is difficult, because you're either having to go for a very short time doing a lot of stupid shit, or or you're doing it for a very short amount of time with very little turnover, and it's not really you. And I think that's the big problem there. It's like people are just like, you know what? I think that's the problem is that Gen Z is that a lot of people, like millennials now have like the time, and we're like the age. We've been old enough that we're like, oh no, listen, kid, listen. Shit, all right, don't do stupid shit, But like at the same time, I'm like,
the game I'm playing is fucking difficult. I keep dying.
Well, yeah. But like, and again, going back to like the whole like idea of like going back to these kids, like if they are paid actors, I don't like it, but I'd rather them facilitating a actual conversation than anything else. Like this is a conversation that we've had. But at the same time, if it's not, oh, if they're paid actors, if one of them goes actually into acting or something like that, I'm gonna be like, it just hurts the cause so much. Everything about it, like, I guess got a discussion. What is more important to somebody, the cause that you have, or the image that you facilitate? I think that's the big trouble there. It's like, because I don't care what somebody sees me as. I don't care if I'm popular or not. I care about like whether or not I'm gonna make somebody laugh every single day. If I get that much, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like that's all. That's the only thing I care about. Make sure that I want to make sure that somebody's happy every single day. If I can do that, then I'm okay with my life. But like in the same sense, like where do you, like as a creators, where do you become less of a creator and more of a collective because of your fan base? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like going back to Logan Paul again, Logan Paul's fans are a bunch of little shitheads. Like Logangs are just a bunch of little shits because they are following, this guy. And yes, he facilitates a terrible, horribly, disgusting group of people, but at the same time, he has to have facilitated that in his own right, I don't know how to describe that.
Yeah.
Like he had to have created this, and because of that, like when does a creator become his audience? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Or when does a creator become their audience? Yes, be more inclusive.
When is the creator just like basically a crowd pleaser?
Yeah, well, no, more like when does a creator become responsible for the actions of their fans? Does that make sense? Like,
Mhm.
when does somebody like responsible for what their fans say? Like when somebody says something, like, okay,
Well, I feel like the only time I've ever seen that happen was like how Leafy's fans kind of like really never forgave him for how they basically everybody sent hate mail towards this one guy and he happened to be autistic and I think he was called out for being autistic or even worse words and it really affected him and he ended up stopping his channel for a while. I think that at that point when somebody's kind of they should take some kind of responsibility for what they're telling their users to do, which is shit on other people. So as long as they're doing something that's like positive and not just like rating and shitting on people.
well, here's the thing: if you're a content creator and you're gonna do like, because Leafy's channel is basically just, I guess, like burns and roasts and basically just making fun of people. Like that's his thing. All right, which is totally fine. Like if that's something, like, it can be entertaining. I can 100% agree
Well, yeah,
that.
but at first he never had that disclaimer like he's not out to witch hunt people. Like, I mean, at first I don't think that was ever really his intention, but it kind of happened. His entire fan base kind of went out to basically just destroy a small YouTuber channel.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, well, here's my thing. All right, when you have a channel, and I'm gonna say this right off the bat, like 100%, yes. Like he needs to take responsibility. But I was gonna say for Leafy, like, okay, so like iDubbbz had to whitelist himself after he did his content cup on Leafy. All right, I'm talking about like not the kind of things where like it's obvious where the channel ends and where the channel, like where they're like openly saying like, oh my gosh, this guy's such an idiot, but where like people are like fanatically doing something for you. Like if you make fun of Jacksepticeye, if you make fun of Markiplier or anybody like that, their fans are gonna come after you. If you do something, if you sneeze in the wrong direction, they're gonna come after you. All right, that's just 100% true. But like 100%, that doesn't mean like it. But when does that mean that they're responsible for it? When does your fans become? When do you become responsible for your fans' actions, basically? Because like you can easily say, yeah, no, when somebody tells you to, go and destroy this guy's channel, yeah, that's gonna be your fault. That's you telling people who are gonna listen to something. But when somebody is, um, but when you say something negative towards somebody, knowing that that's going to cause them to have a negative effect on their image, that's what I'm
I feel
talking
like
about.
it's less of when they're telling them negative things, it's just when they're inciting their users to go out and do something active against people. Which it's not like saying things against them, it's just any negativity, really. If it was like they wanted to all join in on the game against them, or like
Yeah.
everybody go on the opposite team as this person, or nobody subscribe to their channel, that's kind of like when it's too far, in my opinion.
I was back when I was in college.
What your original question was.
Yeah, back when I was in college, I was playing Minecraft in online mode, and this guy had a YouTube channel, and basically, I started watching the channel while I was playing because I was on the same server as him, and he basically, I kept winning the matches or something like that, and he started saying everybody like gang up on him. That's basically what happened is that they started doing it, and I guess my thing is like, when does it stop being? Like, I understand, like, what institutes incitement, I guess is what I'm saying.
I don't know. I was only listening to part of that because I was like eating some soup.
Good for you.
And I was really into the soup.
Good soup. We shall turn the narwhal into
sorry,
soup.
Jay left to go, I think, get more soup.
We shall turn the narwhal into soup.
Soup.
Anyway, but no, like, what institutes, what does it mean to insinuate, what means, when does a creator, like, what is the line for a creator doing something to another creator, doing another to another entity that will cause it to be bad? Because you could say that anytime somebody is like, don't follow this company because they support this, that's insinuation against the company. But when does that when is that bad? When does it become when is it bad that your platform is being used for whatever reason? Is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like Casey Neistat, his "I'm voting for Hillary Clinton" video. Like, when does that become that was him literally saying, I'm not, denouncing Trump as president. That's 100% a thing, and I'm not saying he shouldn't have the ability to, but when does having such a loud audience start to become a bad thing? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Again, back to the whole idea of what Casey Neistat did. He then called out every single YouTuber out there, and anybody who didn't follow basically was like, oh, so you're supporting Trump, basically. And it's like, that person no longer had the ability to remain, separate from the politics of actual real world politics. It then became people who are like, oh yeah, I make roast videos, and I legitimately make a video where I scream at a camera for half an hour, and then, say please like and subscribe at the end of it. That's the guy that I'm going to get my political advice from. I'm not saying that there can't be YouTubers that you want to know their political opinion about, but I don't believe that certain people shouldn't have political opinions. I would love to know the political opinion of Knowledge Hub, but Knowledge Hub is so smart that they're not going to do it. Or Wisecrack and stuff. They already know what is going on, and they already have an opinion, but they don't share that opinion. Yeah. And it's when does that, why is it that we have to have an opinion? When does having an opinion become a dangerous thing for a creator? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Because I think it depends on the creator and what when the controversy is bigger than the creator, Jay says.
I
wanted to give him
that makes
shout out.
Yeah.
That's not what I was thinking. Credit.
There you go.
That's what I was thinking.
When the controversy is bigger than the creator, I actually agree with that. Hugely. Because Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. That actually is like really concise. Because like, if you look at like Keemstar, all right, Keemstar has an okay following as far as like big YouTubers go, but he doesn't have a strong following. Like, yeah, he has fans, but he doesn't have a strong following. He has people who will watch him because he says crazy things. You know,
I'm amazed that he has fans. I would think that like most of the people that watch him just watch him because
it's like watching a train wreck.
he'll make fun of Keemstar.
But like, yeah,
I have.
I've actually never watched
Huh?
any of his videos.
I think I ran across one once because I was curious about something and I like looked it up on YouTube and I was like, the fuck is this? And then I later found out who Keemstar was and I was like, I guess I've seen a Keemstar video.
It's not like a, and
But
again,
like,
and again, it comes down to like he's like, I'm a news producer. I'm like, you're a tabloid at best. Like, like 100%. Like I will tweet at Keemstar that he's a tabloid at best right now and let him read me whatever. He can say whatever he wants
Do
about
it.
me.
no, do it.
Fine, I'll do it right now. I will tweet at Keemstar.
He's probably not even gonna pay attention.
No, he
because
probably
it's
won't.
not
I
his
don't.
channel.
Again, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. You know, if he wants,
Because he wants drama with like big channels.
yeah,
It's like
whatever.
part of his
I don't.
thing. But do it anyways.
At Keemstar are a tabloid. Let's see. You are a tabloid at best, not a news show. Hashtag talk nerdy to me. I don't care if he pays attention to it. Congratulations, we just got billions of subscribers because people apparently follow him, and I don't give a shit. But again, it comes down to the idea. It comes down to the idea. I don't care. Okay, there are people I will totally pick fights with on when it comes to YouTube. I will pick fights with anybody. I would go into here's the thing. If anything, I will go into legit YouTube fights with people over stupid shit. Here's the thing, at the end of the day, there are people I won't do it with. Okay, Keemstar, Leafy, people who are idiots who honestly are just doing it because they want, the fame. Okay, to put it into perspective, anybody who is a get rich or die vlogging kind of person, I am never going to follow them. I'm never going to subscribe to them. I'm never going to give them the time of day because, whatever. Start beef with me. I don't care. And again, this is probably going to come across as me being really, really facetious, but I don't care about people who are just on YouTube trying to make a buck.
Hey, so on a related note, I've made some music for the channel.
Good job. That sounded really sarcastic. I'm sorry. I was trying to say.
I was trying to be like shameless self bump, but I think it would be kind of cool. I got 2 different little track things that we could use as the beginning and ending to YouTube channels or videos or whatever. I do need to mess around with the tempo on one of them though.
Well, here's the thing. I have no problem with like people who are like self-promoting. 100% self-promotion is not like a bad thing as long as you are like self-aware enough of like what's going on with your self-promotion. Like, again, going back to Keemstar, if you should watch some of his Twitter videos, all he does is talk about how awesome and fire his videos are. And then when you watch it, it's a tabloid show. It's supposed to be a news show. It's supposed to be like, it's slow paced at best. And then like he's like dying of laughter. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. It's like very slow paced talking and like just again watch iDubbbz because we're iDubbbz's biggest fan.
iDubbbz is awesome.
iDubbbz is awesome.
God damn it!
What?
I have all of iDubbbz's videos on my computer. I don't mean that to sound weird, but YouTube says do not download any videos. I kind of think they don't care because there's a lot of ways to download YouTube videos, and I like to mash them up and make funny shit out of it.
Yeah. And again, iDubbbz is awesome because iDubbbz is iDubbbz, but again, iDubbbz is actually legitimately he does not give a fuck. He doesn't give a he gives less of a fuck than most like people who don't give a fuck about YouTube. Like a lot of people are like, I would still be making content even if I wasn't famous, I'm like, really? You would? And then like with iDub, it's
Didn't
like,
some of his like followers? Didn't some of his followers like actually think he legit had cancer because he A shaved his head and B just didn't give a fuck about anything to the point where he would just do whatever on camera?
yeah,
Like, I mean, that's kind of like an extent where he wasn't even just doing it like get paid or die hard or whatever. It was just like random. This is what he wanted to show the world of himself. I guess you imagine iDubbbz and you see this like funny character in your head.
well, again, okay, now back to what I was saying. It's
Yeah.
it's get rich or die vlogging.
Oh yeah.
It's actually okay.
I really don't like any channels like that. Any channels that I've seen like that. I'm all for like self promotion, and if they have like at the start of the video, it's like this is sponsored by this. That's fine with me. Or if there's
Yeah.
ads, I'm fine with that. But if the whole like entire video is just like, hey, check this out, so I can make money, and then that's the end. It's like, okay, I don't really want to watch these.
Like, okay, to give you an example of somebody who's like that. And again, what I was talking about with like anybody who actually knows what I'm talking about when I say get rich or die vlogging, it's a newsletter that went out, or like it was a news story about this like vlogging channel that she had a day job and somebody found her at a day job. It's like, oh man, are you doing like a funny video? Are you doing an undercover video? And she's like, no, this is an actual, video. Like, this is my actual job, And like, she's like, no, I don't make enough at vlogging to make a living. And it made sense in that manner. Like, 100%. Like, that's just how it went. But like, and that's what I'm calling about it. Like, people who. The actual thing was like we don't pay vloggers enough or something like that. But I was like, yeah, no, like the whole my whole idea of like what is get rich or die vlogging is people who are so obsessed with getting richer of it. But again, like self promotion, like
Think about like print media though. Like, what are the people that do print media get paid like nowadays? Sometimes nothing. Honestly, like just to be in a good reputable print media place, sometimes you'll have to work for a while without like any pay, basically.
You're talking about like apprentice or like interns?
Yeah, just for like reputation or like going to like big cities newspaper or like magazine writing.
Oh,
all sorts of print media.
I wanted to go into being a reporter for a short while, and I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay, it's not that bad of a living, but it's not that good of a living.
Well, here's a statement. Like, there's something to think of this is like you're not doing print media and you're on online stuff, so maybe this is the better choice.
Yeah. Again, going back to this whole thing where it's like, if I made $1 million off of, again, if I made like $1 million off of YouTube. I don't know what I would probably start my own company, and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to get rich. Like, to a certain extent, I don't want to get rich. I want to be able to have people who actually love doing what they do, and surround myself with them. That's my big thing. The only thing I want. I want to be Bernie Burns from like Rooster Teeth. That's what I want.
That's admirable. I like that. It's respectable and stuffs.
I mean, it's not like. Again, like,
and as Rachel dies in game and stuffs, and she's like, "Fuck."
Again, like, it's not like the worst thing in the world. People do what people will, and it's not like the worst thing in the world. I think the worst thing somebody can do when it comes to like YouTube and stuff is when they stop caring about making the next video. Like when somebody, like when you stop being in the like, it's not even like, oh, I'm not in the mood to make a video. But like when you stop caring if the video is going to be good on whether or not it's actually going to get enough views. That's the problem. That's why I don't want to. That's why I don't want to reach that point where I guess I don't want to reach the point where I don't have a day job and I'm doing YouTube. That's what I'm scared of. It's getting to the point where I'm like, I need this video to get this many views and this many likes. I need this many people to subscribe to my Patreon this month for me to be able to make a living,
At least when you have subscribers to your Patreon, like a steady income coming in.
Well, maybe you can cancel Patreon.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it depends on. Okay.
It's more stable
so
than
you have,
YouTube,
steady
but
income until somebody gets pissed and cancel their Patreon.
exactly. Like, I think the best example of somebody who really has made Patreon work for them is Exclamation Point. He's an anime YouTuber. Really good. Support his channel because Exclamation Point is Exclamation Point. But he does really good because he doesn't produce a lot of videos, but like what he does do is he interacts with his fans a lot, and because of that, he's able to produce a lot of really good videos. When it comes down to it, I think the biggest thing I would probably say when it comes to content creators is how much are you willing to. Again, like with Patreon, I think the biggest problem with that is like the fact of the matter that you have to constantly shell it, and it's like, hey guys, I'm a human being. I eat food, and in order for me
YouTube sucks with monetization.
Or no, it's not even YouTube is like bad at monetization. It's like, if you want me to continue making my content, the easiest way to do that is either I have to get a job and produce shitty content for a long time, and then all of a sudden, or you guys can go and support me on Patreon because I would love to see you guys support me on Patreon. And again, I'm not like saying like we don't have a Patreon right now. I don't want a Patreon. There's no purpose for me to have a Patreon at this point. Do you want to know why?
I want a Patreon. I just want people to pay me.
That sounds like such a sellout attitude. Just pay me.
No, not like for that. Just in general. I mean, like
to be Rachel. I think that's the best thing about Patreon. It's Patreon's basically saying, I'm going to pay you to be you.
Okay, I'm the kind of person who has somebody who like gives me a steady supply of gifts. So maybe I've just been spoiled by that.
Probably. But again,
no,
we both just nod in unison.
Yep.
With the same name as my boyfriend.
Oh, I wonder if there's any coincidence there, huh? No, I'm just
kidding.
No.
Anyway,
I'm just joking.
As far as
I'm being salty.
Yeah, he's being a little salty boy. But no, like back to what I was saying about like the whole like YouTube and like Patreon thing. If I were to set up any sort of place where like they could send me money, I wouldn't mind doing a Patreon at some point if we get bigger. But again, what I would probably use Patreon for is buy myself a new computer.
Yeah, no, I would, if I was like making content, I would use the money to improve my content. I wouldn't just take all this money and go like spend it on a bunch of shit that doesn't.
Well, and that's the thing, like so many people are like,
that is very respectable then. I mean, I thought you were just like, give me money for just money.
No, it would just be nice to have money to like, if I was to like make YouTube some kind of career. That makes a million times more sense. Nice to have money to like live.
I think that's
obviously like a big portion of the money would go towards living expenses, and then whatever was left over, I'd be like,
exactly.
Unless I need like a lot, then it would go towards my content. But of course, it would first go towards my living expenses because I need a place to like call home and food and shit.
I know, and that's the thing. That's one thing I don't like about Patreon. It's like you're essentially saying, I need to be stably making YouTube videos. And it makes it a lot easier to do so, but it doesn't stop that you're at the whims of fans. And I don't want to be at the whims of fans because I don't know how popular.
Patreon people who use who are very upfront about what they're doing with it, and like they just seem very real, are more likely to get more people to follow them, and are more likely to get better donations, that sort of thing. Because it like nobody really wants to be left up to like, oh, is this actually going to the creator? Like, does this go towards better content, or are they just like spending it? And if they are, at least they're being honest. Like, at least some of it goes to the creation. It's not just like, who knows where it goes. I mean, what does some of these merch YouTubers do with their money anyway?
Listen, guys, I'm poor. I have only 2.5 billion in my bank account. I don't have enough for this Gucci watch now. I can't spray paint Gucci symbols on my dog no more. We'll get Gucci too. I mean, yeah, we lost Gucci 1 to pay fumes, but I'm dying. I'm sorry. I have to make fun of people who are like that. Like, and again, like, it comes down to this whole thing. Like, with Patreon, like, I believe Patreon is, like, this really honest thing where it's like, hey, I make content. You like my content? How about you support me? And then, like, you can be, like, part of, like, I love, like, the people who are like, oh, hey, I have a Discord server. It's a private Discord server. And Discord has, like, streaming services. So it's like, hey, you guys want to watch me and, like, if we ever get big, like, it'd be like, hey, you want to watch me and Rachel on our private Discord server? And, like, you guys can't talk on it, but you can, like, watch us as we record. We don't have a consistent record schedule. Like, we always be like, hey, do you want to, like, be able to, like, ask about new videos or anything like that? Support us on Patreon. At a certain point, we give different, like, you have different tiers of things, like, you can give people.
Watch me play this game and die over and over again.
Have exclusive access to my nudes.
No!
I was talking about myself.
Nobody gets my nudes.
No, I was talking about my nudes.
Oh, they can have your nudes.
I figured nobody...
I've never seen your nudes, but, like, I hope they enjoy them.
I feel like that would scare people away. I thought you were gonna go in the direction of, like, bonus footage.
Oh, yeah,
I
like...
mean, you could put something really weird in there, but probably not nudes. That would be kind of weird.
Yeah. You want to purchase...
Hey, they might get...
If anybody wants to watch my, If anybody actually
I'm
wants...
not gonna sell my nudes, just saying.
Oh, come on. I'm joking. Does anyone...
Should I just become a cam girl?
We've already talked about this.
True. But I think, like, me becoming a cam girl also, like, depends on, like, who I'm with, because they'd have to be okay with it.
Exactly. Ultimately up to their decision. But no. Again, like, if anybody wants to actually watch my sex tapes, I'm not, like, shy about the fact of the matter that I have posted them to numerous sites. So if anybody actually wants to watch my sex tapes, they're there.
Good to know. I mean, like, I'm not gonna go look them up, but thank you for sharing. I know they're on Pornhub.
God
It's
damn.
chirp.
I actually got yelled at, not today, not yesterday, but today. No, yeah, yesterday. Somebody on adult Facebook asked me if one of the girls in the videos was his ex-girlfriend, and I'm like, no. And he started, like, basically sending me 1,000 messages about how I've ruined their relationship or something like that. And I'm like, dude, it's not her. I can 100%. I messaged her because I'm like, so this guy, because he actually, like, gave me her name on the thing. Like, so this guy is, like, giving me a hard time. She's like, yes, please block him. He's my ex, and he's an asshole. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And it's like, and the guy just, like, won't leave me alone. I'm like, finally, I'm like, dude, I'm blocking you. It's like, I know where you live. I'm like, no, you don't. You absolutely don't know where I live. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just
on the video on Pornhub.
Plot twist, he totally does.
Fuck if he does. No, he does not know where I live. And no,
or was it on
it's adult.
Oh, what?
Don't say the site.
Was it on, like, the BDS, the kink website? What is it called?
God damn it, Rachel! If you say the name, I'm gonna be so mad.
It's
People have told me I should get one. I'm not gonna say what it's called.
Facebook is what we're calling it.
Huh?
Adult Facebook is what we're calling it.
Adult Facebook, fine. I know what that website's called. Well, I don't know off the top of my head, but, like, I know I've heard of it, and people have been like, you should get one. And I'm like, oh, maybe. My friend has her nudes on hers.
Wait, which one?
Jasmine.
Oh. Never mind.
And her boyfriend's, like, totally cool with it. Like, she has sugar daddies and stuff.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons why I wish I was a woman.
weird.
Or I need to find gay sugar daddies. Being like, I'm never gonna have sex with you, but you can send me stuff. Totally okay.
Well, like, she like sends them pictures and stuff.
Okay. I don't know. I would still be really uncomfortable actually sending gay guys my nudes.
Oh, come on, just send them your nudes.
I'm not
Get all the
sending.
money.
I'm not sending gay guys my nudes.
Do it.
No, I'm not
You just
sending
want
gay
the
sugar daddies my
subscriber.
nudes. What? What'd
You
Jay say?
lost like 5 subscribers.
Yeah, just like 5 subscribers all unsubscribe at the same time, right as you're saying that. They're like, ah, darn it, I was really waiting.
I don't know. I flirt with gay guys a lot. I flirt with them a
No.
lot.
I don't know,
There's-
maybe me saying that I'm not gonna be a cam girl. Maybe they'll unsubscribe for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're just dropping by the minute.
Dropping my flies. Yeah. Shit.
Well, welcome any new users.
Yeah.
So you should subscribe to make the difference, you know.
Yeah. No.
It
Totally.
will let itself out.
I believe.
Oh, I keep dying.
I believe that we're done for now, guys. I thank you guys so much for coming in. I hope you guys have enjoyed the podcast. Oh, again, we do these every Sunday at like 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Rachel curses a lot and has Tourette's.
I died.
Yeah, I know. All right. Say bye.
Hey, thanks for the stream, Jeremy.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. Bye.
Hey, bye.
Later.